Dun, dun.
Live, live, live.
Happy Friday. Fun and frolics Friday. Did my microphone really screech there when I started making that noise?
No.
That's okay. I could hear like the windows and stuff starting to crackle. Welcome to Keeping It Real with Life Lessons with Donna and Cheryl. Just Cheryl today and the fabulous Soul Squad. Frolics Friday. This is the favourite day of the week when we get the whole squad on. So this week we have been focusing on boundaries. We've had so many messages and interactions about this subject. It's a topic we'll probably talk about for weeks on end. And then we've also been talking about how to be assertive. So as usual, we're going to just be talking to the Soul Squad about these topics. And it's great to get your views and your experiences to build on what Donna and I have shared already this week. So we are looking forward to today's session. So yeah. Welcome, guys.
Thank you very much. I think you could write a book on boundaries, though, couldn't you?
Oh, I mean, but how many people say to us, though, we didn't even know boundaries was a thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, literally, we hear that so often. Like, people don't even know the boundaries is a thing to set. So it's such a huge part of your life and how you feel about yourself and your relationships with other people, isn't it?
Mm. And it's amazing how we get so far down the road that it gets to the point where someone's done something very minor, like you were talking about, and the reaction is like, you know, because they've been scrubbing that line of the boundary out for years and you've not said anything, you know.
And the thing is never the thing, is it? So the thing that we go about isn't really the thing. It's about all of the other stuff we've got going on.
Never.
So, yes, so this will be very exciting. So we are going to start off with Yvette and Thomas, and Joan Mel, you get to go. We've got Don Perignon and Caviar in the guest room today for you. So you get to go and feast on those fantastic things, whatever you call them. Yeah, and we'll get you back in a minute. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Hello, guys.
Hi.
So, yeah, boundaries. Like internal boundaries, external boundaries. What's your thoughts? Where you're at with that?
Go on, Thomas, you go first.
Oh, please no.
Does this mean that you don't have any, Thomas?
I don't have any boundaries. Please go first, Yvette.
Yvette, what's your take? Like, because I know you've been sharing. Sorry, my earrings wrapped up my microphone. One of them sticking out to the side, and then the other one's all tangled. You've been interacting all week about boundaries, haven't you? So how have you found your journey with this?
I think it's been a couple of false starts over the last sort of 6 months, because obviously doing it as part of the Real You program, you think, yeah, I nailed it. I've got my boundaries. I'm telling people, this is what I will do. This is what I won't do. And then it's my personal boundaries that I have an issue with. I think, yeah, okay, as of tomorrow, this is the time I'm getting up. These are the things I'm committing to for myself. And pretty much I'm 80% there, but it's like anything else that comes in, I'm like, oh yeah, I've got to reply to that because that friend's going through this, or oh gosh, yeah, I better make sure that I schedule that with my sister, or da 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 da. And I'm like, oh, okay, hang on a minute. The reason why you're tired is because you're doing everything for everyone else. Not saying like from a martyr perspective at all, but just kind of feeling like I need to be present in a whole bunch of different places. So I'm just pulling back on that a little bit, which is nice. And it's not like a big announcement, you know, like when people leave Facebook groups and they make a bit of a dramatic exit, like, oh my God, like I'm leaving this group. It's just, I thought it was going to be this and it's so that. And it's like, it's not an airport lounge, just leave. You know, and I kind of feel like that. I don't have to make like a big announcement about like the fact that I'm setting boundaries. It's just a case I'm saying things like, yeah, I'd really like to do that, but I'm pretty stacked this week. Do you reckon we could do it next week? Whatever, you know, just kind of so it's a time convenient to me, you know.
That's really, really good. So yours is more on a personal level. And that's really good. So you're doing it more subtly rather than, like we say, what we sometimes do is we get to the point where we're like, I can't take any more. And we're like, right,
yeah,
from now on, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. Like, well, you haven't done it that way. You haven't gone into aggressive. You've stayed in assertive, which is good. But we can always say no and set boundaries in a polite, okay manner. It's when we do it from an emotional standpoint, when we're peed off, that when it comes across and it lands wrong, because we've got up to here with something, we haven't dealt with it. And then when we respond that way, that's when it goes a bit tits up.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you're doing that in a very good neutral, is the word we've been using this week, from a neutral place.
Yeah, and I'm doing it, I'm catching it. It's interesting because you're conscious of it. I'm catching it way before it gets to that point where I start to feel like, oh, woe is me. You know, oh my God, I don't have any time, life's too much. And because a couple of Saturdays ago, I had a complete day off of all tech, off of all social media. And I did have to tell some people about that because people would think I was dead otherwise, you know, because I wasn't present on WhatsApp or social media or anything all day. So I did have to let the family know and a couple of close friends of that. And it was great. It was hard. I didn't realize how much is my go-to thing. But yeah, it did me the world of good. That's
amazing. Love that. So we've got a comment there. It's saying it's starting to tune into whether I'm being assertive or aggressive, usually the latter, because I'm not assertive, so I go so long and then
boom.
Which is what we do. We go passive. I'm okay, like I'm not okay, but you're okay, and I'll just, like we're doing with your friends, you know, as long as you're okay, I'm not really okay. As long as you're okay, I'm not really okay. And then we go from that 0 to like, I can't take it anymore. This, that, and the other. The other people don't have a clue what's going on, because they didn't know there was an issue at the first place, because we just kept saying yes to them all the time.
Yeah.
So,
and then you get comments like, oh, I thought you were a peace-loving hippie. How come you're reacting like this? And that makes it worse.
Yeah. But that's good. That sounds like you've been doing some good progress with it, and getting, when we test this out and we realise that the other people just say, okay.
Yeah, I know. Oh, okay.
The world hasn't come to an end because you've said no. Then it just gives you that confidence, doesn't it, to do it again. Do it again. So that's 100%. Good. And I know for you, Thomas, like we were chatting earlier in the week, I was talking in my case about some like family boundaries, just in terms of similar to what Yvette's saying, about, it's a similar thing, isn't it? Having those, when you're different and you're having these different conversations and coming from a different place, sometimes it can get frustrating.
Yes.
Is the word we'll use.
Yes. I am a big fan of the silent treatment as well, I have to say, rightly or wrongly. I do. I think it sends quite a distinctive message, doesn't it, really? But yeah, big fan of the silent treatment, but I don't do that.
Could we call that as passive aggressive, maybe?
Well, yes, you can. but I don't use it often, but I am known to just retreat. Yeah.
And then what happens? So do you retreat and then, like, do you get yourself out of it and then you just come back and everything's okay?
Yeah, fine.
Okay. That's your way.
Sort of like to deflate the situation.
Yeah.
Or whatever you want to call it, and then fine. But I need to, if I do that, it's because I need to work out what feeling I need to process.
Yeah.
And how I want to deal with it when I start interacting again.
Yeah. So quite a considered approach, really. I know we're joking saying passive aggressive, but it's like, it's a considered approach, because we were talking about like dealing with it in the moment and trying to set boundaries when you're in the moment with emotions flying is never going to work out well. So coming away, getting yourself back to the neutral standpoint, processing your feelings, and then coming back to think about how you want to communicate is a really effective way of doing it.
Yes.
Good. Oh, well, see ya. You've got it down to a fine art. Loving it. Loving it. Okay. So I'm going to pop you into going off and get, if there's any champagne left and caviar. I mean, Joe and Mel may have ate it all, but you know, hopefully they've worked as a team and they've left some for you. So I'll pop you down into the guest room and then we'll bring Joe and Mel up. I will see you in a minute. Bye. Oh, Mel. Oh, Joe's here. Are you here? Yeah, you're there. Oh, there's there. Mel's there. We just had a blank screen there, Mel.
Yeah.
She's here. She's here. Good. I'm just saying your screen went blank, but you popped up now.
Here.
So, yes. So I'm keen.
Oh, okay. I am here.
She's there, but she's on a 5-second delay. I'll wait till she responds.
Yeah, growl.
Yeah, so, well, let's start with you, Mel. Where are you at now with boundaries?
I'm getting better at protecting my personal boundaries because I now really know what I need in my life to keep me happy, calm, content. I know when I'm getting overwhelmed, and like they're saying, I don't go out there and make a big boo-boo, here are my boundaries. It's just gently saying, I'm really sorry, I can't make it next week. But how about, I'm brilliant. I am the best person in the world at setting boundaries with kids. No, I'm not doing it. So I'm very proud of myself for that. I'll make you breakfast when I have finished doing my HIIT session in the living room. But with relationships, forget it. I'm like, hey, have my life.
I've just handed it all over to you. I don't know if she's frozen now. Is she frozen? Is she frozen?
I think so.
So that's an interesting point then. We'll just wait for
I'm
her to
done.
come back. Oh, yeah, you're back. That's interesting. So with your kids, you've got your boundaries down. You're compromising. I'll do this and then I'll do that. So that's great. And then when it comes to personal relationships, you're just like, yeah, everybody just have a piece of me, and then you're at the detriment of you and how you're feeling. What it sounds like.
Yeah.
So what would you like to do about that? Is there an area that you've identified?
I started doing the Real You program because I'm not in a so I'm not in a romantic relationship at the moment, which is fine. And my big test will be, if I do end up in one, can I not repeat the same mistakes I have before, where that person then needs to have boundaries and just I'm so open. So that'll be a really good test for some of the things I've put into place.
Good, and I'm proud of you for acknowledging that. This is good. This is progress. This has all happened in a week. I mean, once we nail something, we just get we don't stop, do we? Just progress on. But you have got this capability, because if we've got boundaries in one area of our lives, we've got the capability to put it in another, because it's the same set of skills. So it's just about all of the emotions and baggage that we might have from previous that comes through with us. But the positive thing is you've got it nailed in one area, Mel, so you are capable of then, with the new improved version of you, putting them in place when you move forward. Which is amazing. Thank you. What about you, Jo?
With me, I think it's, if I feel confident, like for some people, I've got great boundaries. I'm absolutely no trouble whatsoever in some parts of my life. If I'm feeling confident about myself when I'm with that person, if I'm lacking in my confidence, then that's when my boundaries can just be all over the place. So yeah, but I have, because I am working on myself and becoming more confident, then because of that, I'm noticing that in situations where I would usually just be people pleasing and have no boundaries, I think it did a vet say, I'm noticing like, oh, and I'm thinking, oh, actually, no, I don't want to do that now, and I'll do that later, or I don't want to commit to doing that because it's not what I want to do. So it's kind of coming out in little ways, which is I guess because of the work I'm doing. Yeah. So that's been really interesting.
And Yvette's just saying, like, boundaries being tied to confidence. So that's interesting, isn't it? So when you're in a situation where you feel more confident, you're okay with them. But then when you're not, do you question yourself? Is it more like you're questioning yourself, or are you afraid of being judged? Like, where does the people pleasing thing come in?
probably questioning on a work level, probably questioning myself. So, you know, just getting over like these sort of beliefs that I've created, you know, some thinking stuff, you know, and so it's questioning that, but I'm getting better at that because I'm now seeing what are the facts, and I'm just harping on about stuff that isn't true anymore. Do you know what I mean? In personal relationships, some stuff is kind of, I think it's what you've probably talked about before with Thomas. It's like very long-term relationships that I've had for like all my life. So you kind of get stuck in your little box. So my little box is, the family, I think, is Miss Goody Two Shoes and bossy, and I'm going to tell everybody what to do, you know. And it's not like, well, in other areas it's not, but I think you kind of have a different role, don't you, within families?
Yeah.
And my role has been the sorter out, the get stuff doing, and it's hard. It's hard not to get frustrated because if I don't do it, then often it doesn't get done. So then you get pigeonholed as little Miss Bossy Boots, and then some people obviously they do want to, you know, they don't like that. And then I think what Thomas says, I can go a bit passive aggressive on that as well.
Right.
So I'll go off in a huff and I'll be very quiet. But then lately I've done that, not in a huffy way, but in a way that I've then really thought about. I think it's what you've mentioned as well. I've really tried to think about the other person's point of view.
Good.
And although it's extremely hard, and I'm not going to sit here and say it's not, it's really, really hard. But I've realised that my anger and stuff, it's a lot of just frustration.
Yeah.
But I'm learning to realise that I cannot control what anybody thinks and does. And it's frustrating and it's not easy, but you just can't.
Yeah.
Everyone has got people in their lives who they struggle with, and you cannot control what they say and do. So I'm just trying to stop beating myself up over it and just learning to go, okay, that's what you're going to do. So I'm just going to do what's best for me. So it's been a lot easier. I've been a lot easier.
Amazing. That's such progress, though, isn't it, Jo? Like having known you, and we talked about this, didn't we? And this is what the other guys are saying. Family ties have been there most of our lives with our family members, and like you say, when you have these dynamics, we were talking to a client yesterday about having everyone has their roles in a family. So when we all of a sudden decide, actually, we're not comfortable playing that role anymore, we want to establish some boundaries, like that's a huge adjustment for the people on the receiving end of it, because they've been used to you being like this. Like for myself, I'm 47, you know, like when I started to implement some family boundaries about a year ago, it's like I've done this for 46 years. You can't just expect then the other people to go, all right, okay, because they're going through their own adjustment, aren't they? So
and I think as well what you'd said on one of the lives is sorry.
Go on, Mel.
I was just going to say, Jo, that I loved what you were saying about not being able to control other people, because I think I'm now really aware that my issue was in romantic relationships, I had no boundaries because that would make them like me more, because I would be so easy to get on with and I would be so pleasing. However, still single clearly doesn't work.
You've just not met the right person. That's
exactly at the right time.
Yeah,
exactly. And Karen's just saying, thank you, Karen, is a silent thinker. That was just on what Thomas has said. I'm just going to put Karen's next message up. So Mel, it's going to cut the top of your head off, but no offense, I'm not doing this on purpose. We can see the top of your hairline. So Karen says, my people please are slowly disappearing. I've started to think about the things I want to achieve, all the stuff that has been left behind and forgotten. While I've been too busy pleasing everyone else, guess I'm now starting to set my own boundaries. It's been a long time coming. Amazing. Good work. And it's like the guys have said, it's just one thing at a time. And it might be subtle, but actually it's subtle to the other people. But to you, it's a huge thing. Like boundaries is a huge thing. So amazing. That's just very good to see that you're even recognizing where you haven't got boundaries, but also that you're starting to make progress. So thank you. Right. So we're going to keep Joe and Mel, you're going to go and, you know, I was just going to say sample the fruits of my labour, but I don't think that's quite the right expression, is it?
Maybe not.
That's quite the expression I meant to say. You're going into the guest room, Thomas, and then I'm going to bring a vet up. So we'll see you in a bit. See you later, Mel. Sample the fruits of my labour. I don't know where that came from.
That was a bit awkward.
I mean, I would be very, very clever if I could manage to do that on a virtual.
We knew what you meant. We knew what you meant.
Stream with 5 people. So yes. So the other thing that, and we started to talk about this anyway, is just about being assertive, and you've already talked about this a little bit more with the examples of what you're using. But we were chatting with Donna early in the week with you guys being on, talking around this whole assertiveness has this like negative connotation based on what we've been saying. Some people think you're being too pushy or confrontational, or you're causing conflict, or you're being aggressive or emotional just by being assertive. And I know you mentioned a bit earlier in the week that you're just being clear about what you want.
And I think the issue that I've had in the past that I really kind of had a bit of an aha moment about this week was I'm black or white, and I'm either I know what I want and I'm going to tell people what I want, and I don't give a crap what anybody thinks, which is maybe not the right way. Or the other side of things where it's, oh God, I've got to think about people's feelings, and I might be at work and I've got to influence people. So it's not like I know that if I go barreling into that meeting and kind of demanding things or whatever, they're going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, pipe down. There's a middle ground that I needed to come to, because I think I was putting a lot of flowery language around what it was I was asking for. And I mean, it pained me because it was like, I know what I want. I just need to say what I want. And I think also particularly around people that are really, really busy. When people are really, really busy and I know that I've got to ask them for something, I'm like, wow, you know, this is going to be of benefit because blah, 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 blah. They don't need to hear all of that. They just, you know, we're doing this because of this reason. Thank you for your expertise. I need this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a bit of a middle ground to be found, really.
Yeah. Like you say, it's either boom, sledgehammer,
Yeah.
or like dancing around the houses, and then you walk away and the person's like oblivious. I don't really even know what that conversation was meant to be about. So just finding that middle ground. So
yeah.
What about you, Joel?
With assertiveness, I can be pretty rubbish, really. But I definitely get your thing of it. Like at workplaces where I've really struggled to be assertive around like management, with very strong personalities and stuff. And looking back now, it was exhausting, really, because I wasn't being assertive, so I would be, you know, I would just take it all on myself, and bottle it up, and it was really difficult. You know, so I can see the changes that I'm making now, because it's, for me, it's like everything else for me. It's just comes from me about valuing myself. That's what mine comes from. It's me having to get the value to value myself. That's in a nutshell for me. The more I value myself, then the more confident I am to speak. If you don't value yourself, you start there going, well, my decision, you know, my thing's not important. And do you have a moment to chat? And you know what I mean? And I look back now and think, what?
I love that voice Jo always puts on when she's like, no, it makes
and looking back, you know, you think, God, like I wasn't coming across assertive or sounding it. So sometimes as well, people just don't give you that respect because you're not putting out there, are you? I guess you're not saying, show me respect, I suppose, are you?
Like being heard, having a voice.
Yeah.
Being heard, having a presence.
Yeah.
And the thing is that you, Jo, like at that time when we were like working with you at that time, you had the assertive thoughts in your head. So it's not that you weren't thinking that way. You had them. You were questioning things and having the assertiveness in here, weren't you? It's just it wasn't then translating. You didn't feel it comfortable enough to voice it.
having the confidence. So if you can hear my dog barking, having the confidence to then just action it. Yeah.
So it comes from confidence again. Yeah. So interesting. And we were chatting when you were talking about yourself, Yvette, when you were at school, and I was saying about my daughter Holly. Like,
Oh my God.
she literally, honestly, I was never away from the school because she obviously wasn't doing it kids, teenagers aren't allowed to. She wasn't, supposed to be assertive in class and question things and point out where things weren't fair and stuff like that. You were like, it was frowned upon, and I would be like, oh, can you just think it in your head? I used to be telling her before, can you just think it in your head, but not verbalize it out loud to the teachers, please, because I'm never away from the school office, but you physically couldn't. You just had to keep.
I know. I kept feeling like it as well. I mean, I was saying to you, wasn't I? I was the single person that managed to allow the girls to wear trousers in winter in our school in South Africa, because I was like, no, this is not fair. How come the boys are allowed to wear trousers? We've got cold legs too. This is not acceptable. And I was like, why are you saying that we have to wear skirts? I don't understand, and it was just challenging all those, in my head, stupid rules, there's no point to this. What is the point of this? The fact that my hair touches my collar and it's not tied up is really not going to impact how I do my history exam, or or the fact that I've got hoop earrings in instead of studs, and I've got 4 of them or 6 of them instead of 2. I mean, they were so strict in schools over there, but that isn't going to impact how I don't know, play netball for the day, or it might actually if somebody gets their finger caught in it, but not a good example. But the rest of the academic,
some of the boundaries / rules at school seemed ridiculous. So I'm just going to bring Thomas and Mel back in, so we've got the full squad. And then so anything you want to add on assertiveness, Thomas? Is this something that I can imagine that you're pretty good with being assertive? It's a good thing. Being assertive is a good thing. It's a compliment. I'm giving you a compliment.
I think I am. I think I know my mind, and I know when I don't agree with something, then I always feel like I need to have my say, get my opinion across.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see why I shouldn't be allowed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes, if I don't know enough about a subject or whatever, I'll sit on the fence and not retreat, but sort of listen a bit more before I put my defense work in.
I still think that's a healthy approach, though.
Yeah,
which is good. What about you, Mel? How are you with being assertive?
I think she might have frozen.
Mel? That's to Mel.
That's a frozen screen, I reckon.
My head moving. Mel, can you hear us?
Oh, she's gone again.
But my assertive, I can, but I think I'm a bit behind you guys. I am working on being assertive instead of all. I'm fine. Boom. Thing.
Yeah. So you're just still.
Rising.
So you're doing the passive to aggressive thing where you're just letting it build up, and then exploding. Something to work on, but you're aware of it, which is always a positive. It's a positive thing. So it's a daily work. Like, don't get me wrong. We're talking about this. We're sharing. I coach people. Am I assertive all the time? Do I ever not slip into passive aggressive? Do I ever not slip into direct aggressive? No, we all do. Do you know what I mean? But it's about recognizing where we are, coming out, getting back to neutral, and then bouncing back, really, isn't it? We're all going to go into different styles and not have boundaries and lack assertiveness, but it's just recognizing it and then doing something about it and moving forward. So yes, thank you very much, guys. I can't believe it. Half an hour is up already.
Goes so quickly, doesn't it?
It flies by. So thank you everybody who has tuned in to Donna and Cheryl TV this week. We appreciate you, and I'm going to drop the link in for the Imposter Syndrome Masterclass again, because we're going to keep sharing all of our free resources with you. And if you are an area of boundaries is like weak for you, or being assertive, this will really help you, because some of it comes from your inner critic, which is why you lack confidence or self-worth. So I'll pop that into the comments. Next week is all going to be around, we're very excited, permission to just be you, to show
Woohoo!
up, to lean in, to literally be out just declaring, this is me.
Oh, I love it, Jo.
So that's what all next week is going to be about. So we're very excited. So we will see you guys next Friday, Soul Squad. Yeah, but you're going to be with us every day like you normally are anyway. So have an amazing
Hashtag
weekend.
fan club.
Hashtag keep it real. Have an amazing weekend. Everybody is tuning in, and over and out from the Soul Squad.
Thanks, Cheryl.
Bye.